Hey, yay, 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 all of you beautiful souls. I wanted to do a video today, and I realized the last video I made, and I laughed because it's a little crazy, was 18 minutes long. So I'm going to make this video, and it should be under, I would say, 7, 8 minutes. And, I've been very fascinated with the idea of time my entire life. I got an entire tattoo just based on the theme time. This says eternal because the soul does not ever die, right? Energy is all that there is. And when we go through this whole time perception, perspective on how can we boost and maximize the systems and operations that govern, subliminal messages or subliminal affirmations and your subconscious mind. Because unless if you're an alien from outer space, we all have a subconscious mind. Now, after making 550 successful subliminal affirmations, and studying the subconscious mind in depth and meditating on it and now teaching people all over the world how to make subliminals, I want to just share some ways that you can, practical ways you can improve your subliminal results. Now, the subconscious mind is a naturally occurring thing. So just like the plants in your backyard or the trees in your backyard, the grass in your yard, or whatever plants, you want to think of. These are naturally occurring things and themes in life. Right? So what we have here with the subconscious mind is something that naturally is occurring. So there are ways we can boost, but there is a quote. What I'm getting at is too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. Okay, so yes, I recommend listening to subliminals up to 3 hours a day, but at that point, it's time to go to sleep and let this, your body recover and where the real growth happens, which is when you're asleep. It's why if, I am a light sleeper. I don't get the benefits or the privilege, but if you can listen to subliminals while you're asleep, the results are going to be amazing. But if you can't, don't worry. But as I said, I would not go over 3 hours a day, or else you're just shooting yourself in the foot. So, yes, one way is to listen more frequently. The whole goal of a subliminal is to replicate the affirmations or the repetition that builds the new subconscious mind or the physical results. If you're listening to a real subliminal. Unfortunately, 90% of the subliminals out there, right? I mean, I'm not just saying this. It's very safe to say after, being in the industry long enough, where I'm at now, thankfully or gratefully, not to brag, but to point out through a credible perspective that it's safe to say 90% of the subliminals out there the creators don't know what they're doing, or excuse me, they don't understand what they're doing. And that's why you're not getting results. It's very straightforward, but you'd be surprised how many people came to me in the past and were like, oh my goodness, I'm not getting results. Like, what's happening? Like, this is the subliminal I'm listening to. And I would go and look at it, and it was just, and I'm not, not hating, just speaking the truth to bring some honest awareness, right? Just being honest that, a lot of them were just teenagers living in their parents' house, and they were doing it because it's cool. And nothing's wrong with that, right? If you're happy living in your mom and dad's house as a teenager making subliminals, that's cool. Nothing's wrong with that. But, I mean, this is a very serious thing we're dealing with. This is people's subconscious minds. If I don't believe if you're, doing it as a hobby, you should be uploading them publicly to YouTube, or at least be transparent with people and say this is just a hobby. So, yes, making sure you listen to real subliminals is the second one. As I said, the first one is listening to them longer, getting that repetition in. Now, some subliminal creators, they have the affirmations being read like 100 or 200 times where you only got to listen to it for 10 minutes. Now, as I said, that I don't think that's safe. I don't think it's necessarily going to, as I said, having more voices reading it. Yes, you can listen less, but you can also burn yourself out really, really fast, right? It's about finding that median, right? That harmony. Everything in life is a balance. And the third point is drinking more water. And this is very common, right? Water, and when one of the girls, Lily, in the second subliminal class I taught, she asked why, right? And then she's that's very wise, right? A wise man actually understands. Any fool can just know or repeat, right? You don't want to be repeating information or just knowing what you heard. You want to actually understand. And she asked, so why are we drinking water? Well, our bodies I forget the percentage. Someone else in the class knew the exact percentage. But a large portion of our molecular structure, which is just our bodies, right? Our body is just a molecular structure. And your thoughts are what is directing this molecular structure. More specifically, your subconscious mind's thoughts. Now, water is what's formulating a lot of this molecular structure. So it's very important that you drink a lot of water to where your subconscious mind or your body can really maximize what it's achieving. And that's the third point. Now the fourth one is supplements. I made an entire video on supplements. You can go to the YouTube channel's playlist, and under the free lessons, you'll find supplements. I'm going to put it in the link just for you guys to find it. I recommend supplements too, especially if you're trying or you're going after, those subliminal results for physical, right? Physicality. You want to listen or you want to consume supplements. The third one or the fourth one is yes, let's go back. So the fourth one is getting plenty of sleep. And I just mentioned sleep and you understand why now. Sleep is very important, right? Just like if you want to, if you're weightlifting or you're bodybuilding or exercising and fitness, you need to be sleeping at least 7 hours. Some people, they don't get that privilege, but you need to be careful and make sure you're sleeping good. I recommend 8 hours a day, of course. If you can go a little bit longer and you need it a little bit longer, then make sure you go for it. After sleep is just meditating, right? The subconscious mind is way more receptive when you're in a meditative and relaxed state of being. When you're relaxed, you're more creative, your spiritual mind is working better, and above all, your subconscious mind is just receptive. The doors are wide open, your subconscious mind has, opened the doors because you're relaxed, you're in a deep meditative state. Practice meditating, practice yoga. I haven't done yoga in a while. I prefer to stretch and just listen to the miracle frequencies or the relaxing frequencies with the subliminal. I recommend yoga with Cassandra. You listen to yoga with Adrian for a while, but I kind of had a little falling out after I saw some of her Instagram pictures. Yoga with Cassandra, she's never fallen. I've always enjoyed her yoga, but meditate or listen to yoga. And if you can do yoga while you listen to your subliminals or meditate while you listen to your subliminals, even better. But make sure you're relaxed, right? Get into a very relaxed state. And then there's semen retention, right? And this just gets into a whole giant mess, right? Now, obviously, making love is its own thing, right? And, it's a natural thing. If you're making love with your significant other, there's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to ejaculating and orgasming, the line between the two and the energy that's involved, it all gets messy. So I'm not going to really go into that, but I recommend refraining from ejaculation. Now, orgasming, that's a different thing, right? And then it's a fine line that needs to be explained very thoroughly. And then it's such a deep topic, it can't be done without a 30-minute video or even longer, just because of the depth that you go into. However, I recommend, as I said, now obviously if you're with a partner, there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually going to raise your vibration and it's recommended. Now, if you're by yourself, there's a very fine line, right? And some other tips I would recommend is breathing, right? Practice Wim Hof breathing, right? And really let your breath flow with the sounds and the voices. Now, you shouldn't actually hear the affirmations clear enough, but you should hear at least the voices, right? It's kind of like you can hear your roommates talking, but you can't actually hear the words. That's how the subliminal should be if they know what they're doing, right? And you want to just, breathe in with, it sounds kind of creepy, but you want to breathe in with the voices you can kind of hear, right? And the subliminal sound, right? And the other point is I recommend all the time getting all that bad juju out of your mind, right? Just starting off with personal development subliminals, right? And really improving and letting go and just growing as an individual in this present moment and just growing in a positive way where you have all of this new character and just a positive mindset to where the affirmations can really just manifest with very little resistance or subconscious security guards like the movie Inception, right? So these are my tips on how to boost your results. Very practical ways. I like to also, if you can, meditate or listen to your subliminals when you're underneath the sun and you have, the sun and the photosynthesis, right? When you have the sun, that sunlight being absorbed into your body, it's just this, it's just like water, right? It's a very good thing. So if you can go out to the park or in your backyard, and guys obviously, take off your shirt, and then females, it's your backyard obviously, right? But you still need to, I don't want to be explicit or creepy, but down to your underwear if you can, or a bathing suit, to where that sunlight really absorbs into your body, right? While you listen to the subliminal. That's a more advanced technique. And as I said, another advanced technique is when you get into that relaxed state of being, listen, right? Listen while listening to the miracle tones, the 528 hertz, the 430, right? All of those miracle tones. And above all, use a laptop. Use a laptop. A laptop is, you can have multiple tabs open and bundle your subliminals, right? Bundling your subliminals with a laptop. Phones, there are some websites that allow you to open multiple tabs, but those are always getting taken down, and it's kind of tricky with YouTube. I recommend just buying a laptop, right? Just, you can even find one on Facebook for like $100 or a used one, just for your subliminals, right? If you don't already have a laptop, right? And just, as I said, now obviously when you go outside into the sun, we got to stop and think here a little bit, right? Maybe I need to put a towel over my laptop, or take care of it because of the sunlight, right? And whatnot. If I'm going to sleep, I need to buy maybe headphones, special headphones, right? I don't recommend Bluetooth because of the light flashing, unless if you're a deep sleeper, right? We just need to stop and apply a little bit of common sense here. So I appreciate all of you wanting to maximize your subliminal results. That really is beautiful. That really is inspiring to me that you want to maximize your results. So here is the different ways to boost your results. I love and appreciate all of the support, guys. You have a beautiful day.